Alright, before I dive into Viper itself, I want to go over how I play on controller and give you some like kind of general tips that you can do to set up jobs more effectively and also just play on controller more effectively. If you're not already, you should be using the expanded hotbar, which gives you this second row. So you access this by holding right trigger, this by holding left, and then you double tap each trigger to get up to the second bar. And then you can also give yourself a third hotbar to work with by holding both triggers at the same time. So in order to set that up, go to character config, hotbar settings, cross, scroll down here and make sure that these are on hold, this top option, and then always display. For the input timer, I like 40. 40 is really comfy, but play around with it and see how you feel. With 40, I've never, ever like accidentally gone to a hotbar I didn't mean to. Like it's just really good, comfy timing. But playing around with that, go over to custom. In order to set up that third hotbar, come in here and check this, and then you can set up two different hotbars, but you can, So you can set up two different hotbars on your double trigger pull. You can do like, depending on which one you hold first. So like left to right trigger will bring up one, and then right to left trigger will pull up another one. I like to just mirror these though, completely, because like heat of the moment, it's not always easy for me to remember which like finger went down first or what's on which one, you know? And you really don't need this for that much extra stuff anyway. Like this third hotbar for me, let me go ahead and update it a little bit. I literally just use this for potions, for like raid food, and then my mount, self-healing, and then emotes and limit break is tucked away over here too, so that it doesn't ever accidentally get hit while I'm doing like my core stuff. So in order to set that up, go to character config, custom, teach me the ways of controller, don't worry baby, I got you. Yeah, so check this and check this. For the double tap ones, make sure that you select this and not only action buttons. If you do only action buttons, your D-pad up there goes away completely. So you would definitely want to make sure you have both. For your double left tap, select whichever hotbar you want left, and then whichever hotbar right. This one should probably be cross hotbar 3 left and right, but I set this up so long ago that I just, like, you know, it just is the way it is, and I've never changed it. But yeah, that's all you really need to worry about as far as setup goes. As far as your actual skill placement, Viper is very weird because you only have like 12 actual buttons you hit, and a lot of your single target and AoE stuff is like completely one-to-one. Actually, I think literally all of it is. But typically, what I would do is my right trigger face buttons are like my core combo, my core like 1, 2, 3, and then whatever other like big spender or like alternative third hit to a combo I would put right here. And then the D-pad would be reserved for OGCDs. So to give you a better example of one that's a little more normal, Machinist, I have my 1, and then I can double weave my shit right there without having to let go of this trigger. You know, I can hit drill whenever it's up. And then my left trigger, I typically reserve for my core AoE buttons. Machinist might not be the best example because this is one that you would use either way, chainsaw. But then my D-pad, basically every job has some kind of raid-wide mitt or personal shield that I put right here, and then a 2-minute raid buff or personal damage buff. Those are always going to go here and here. And then up on the D-pad I use for like a big gauge builder or stance button, so like that's where I put Enshroud on Reaper. That's where I put like warriors like Enrage shit, I forget what it's called exactly, but and then on the second hotbar, my face buttons up here are where I put my big gauge spender stuff. So like my entire hypercharge window is right here. I can fully move around and do it, you know. And then my D-pad right here is where I put roll actions. Again, Machinist is a little bit different because you never need to use leg shot or fucking foot graze. But this is where arm's length is always going to be on this button no matter what job I play. And then this button is reserved for like feint, reprisal, dismantle, addle, like anything that makes the enemy do less damage is always going to be on this button no matter what job I'm playing. And then up is always going to be my like interject button, or if a job doesn't have interject, I'll use true north here instead. But you can basically set up jobs to be exactly the same, like skill placement, no matter what you're playing. So like for Reaper, here's my 1, 2, 3. There's where I put Shadow of Death to make sure that stays up. And then right there on my D-pad, I have like my OGCD and, you know, like special single target shit. And then here's all my AoE equivalents. And then here's my raid damage buff. There's my raid shield. There's my feint, my arm's length. I always set my gap closer to be double right trigger X. And then if the job has like a getaway button, I'll put that like directly there. And then there's my big gauge spender stuff. Here's where I would put my AoE gauge spender stuff and ranged attack. Every single job's ranged attack is right here if I ever need to use it. I think tanks are probably like the most homogenized. Oh shit. You can set up every tank to be like exactly the same. All of my mitt goes right here, or my standard mitt, I should say. And then there's my ranged attack, there's my gap closer, here's my roll actions, reprisal and arm's length again. Here's my 1, 2, 3, and whatever I can weave in between it. This D-pad is also reserved for like single target, combo, you know, whatever kind of gauge spender stuff it might have. There's my raid wide shield, my personal damage buffs, and then usually my special mitt button will go here for tanks, like that's where I'll have Holy Sheltron, TBN, stuff like that. And then up here, these 4 buttons are going to be the same no matter what tank I'm playing. So there's my stance, there's provoke and shirk, and then there's my invuln. So no matter what tank I'm on, it's all right there. I don't have to think about which tank I'm playing, you know, it's all set up to be exactly the same. These 4 buttons will be exactly the same no matter what tank I'm playing. Even though, yeah, sorry, you asked for Viper, but I'm sure you'll be playing other shit too. So you can use that as like sort of a basic guideline to set up whatever it is you want to play. If any of that works for you, you know, whatever. Different shit works for different people and all that. But as far as Viper specifically, this is probably the easiest job in the game. Do not worry about like the massive amount of text that's in your tooltips here. You don't actually have to know like any of this shit. Viper is extremely easy. You have these 8 buttons to worry about if you're single target, these 8 buttons to worry about if you're AoE, and 4 of them are exactly the same. You have your gap closer, your ranged attack, and then you have this button that gives you like that procs your big damage shit. And then like it's all the same with whether you're single target or AoE on Viper. You're doing the same shit no matter what. I'll go ahead and walk through what this shit actually is though. So you have 2 3-hit combos that are on the same 2 buttons for Viper. Your Steel Fangs and Reaving Fangs. You can also think of these as your left and right button because that's how your sword gauge is going to treat them. If you follow what lights up on these buttons or what your sword gauge is telling you to do, you literally can't go wrong. The game will like effectively play the job for you. It will always guide you towards refreshing whatever buff needs refreshing more, if that makes sense. But to start off, you can do either of them, because they'll give you that Honed Steel buff. And then for your third hit of your combo, it's either going to be green or red. If it's green, hit it from the flank, and if it's red, hit it from the rear. When I said that your job gauge is going to tell you what to do, if you see the colors lighting up, one part of the sword is going to light up at a time. It's telling you to hit the left button or the right button. And then it's color-coded to tell you if it is a flank or a rear. So you literally just, like, follow the glowy button, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. That's literally it as far as your basic combos. The only other thing that I've been doing that I haven't been mentioning is that Serpent's Tail button, my right trigger up. After every third hit, that'll proc, and you can weave that in between your next combo starter. But as long as you're rotating through these combos, even like semi-effectively, you will never run out of your buffs. You'll be doing like as much damage as you can possibly be doing with them. They are built to like lead you to success, you know. You literally can't fuck up as long as you're hitting what button it tells you to hit. You don't even have to look at the buttons themselves. You can just follow the sword gauge. If the right half of the sword is glowing, press triangle. If the left half is glowing, press square. Like it's really that simple. And then you can just kind of know after each hit that you're gonna have to hit up on the D-pad. Like if you build that muscle memory, and you don't even have to like look to see if it's proccing, you know. But as far as actually like playing Viper the way you're supposed to, get your buffs up. You can even just run in and hit, like, do the first hit of your combo, and then if you hit Vice Winder, these other two buttons, your Swift Skin and Hunter Coil, are gonna light up down here. These will also refresh your buffs. If you look at the two smaller buffs under my big one, whenever you hit either of these, it's gonna refresh those. And after hitting each one, you can double weave Twin Fang and Twin Blood Bite, and then do the other one. And I set these up on my hotbar in a way to where they flow naturally into each other. So if I do Vice Winder and then hit Hunter's Coil, I'm going left, down, Swift Skin, down, left, and then just go back into my combo. Basically just do those on cooldown. Like as soon as Vice Winder comes back up, do it again. And then you can like focus whichever buff you need more first, or just hit them both, because you're gonna hit them both anyway. Like, Viper might seem a little intimidating, but it's literally as simple as rotating through, like, two combos back and forth over and over and over again. It does get really fast, especially when you have to, like, you know, worry about mechanics and everything else on top of this, but it's really this simple, dude. Like, this is all you do. Until you build up, at least 50 of this gauge, and you can go into your Reawaken combo. Whenever you do this, you have 30 seconds to get through this whole combo if you have to like back off from an attack or whatever a little bit. But basically, I set this up on controller to go clockwise from first, second, third, and fourth, if you see the skill names there. And between every hit, Serpent's Tail is going to proc again, and you just weave it between each one. So you go first, weave, second, weave, third, weave, fourth, weave, and then you hit the same button that you used to start the combo to finish it. So Reawaken, first, weave, second, weave, third, weave, fourth, weave, finish. And then the only other two buttons that you have are Uncoiled Fury and Serpent's Ire. Uncoiled Fury is a ranged attack, and then you get to double weave those two buttons, the same two that you double weave after these. So it's set up to be like consistent throughout the entire kit. You can hold up to 3 charges of those, and then Serpent's Ire will give you a charge of Uncoiled Fury, and then also proc your Reawaken. So you need to be doing Serpent's Ire on cooldown, basically. That is like your version of a 2-minute buff on Viper. You basically just hit it and then, you know, go into your Reawaken combo, and then it's just business as usual, going through your combos. As like, definitely don't worry about an optimal rotation for all of this stuff yet. Just get comfortable going through your combos, doing your little Vice Winder shit on cooldown, and then get comfortable with how fast Reawaken is. It can be a little like intimidating at first, but that's pretty much it, man. I'll go ahead and go through Reawaken for you again. So first weave, second weave, third weave, fourth weave, finisher. And like I kept saying before, all of this is exactly the same in AoE. You have the same exact buttons over here, and you don't even have to worry about positionals for them. You are just doing whichever button lights up that it tells you to do, and then weaving your up on the D-pad after each third hit. And then Vice Pit is your AoE version of Vice Winder, but it procs AoE equivalents of those buttons. You hit them, do your double weave, and then just go into your other stack of them. It is exactly the same as single target. Even Reawaken, same buttons. You don't even have to put these on your hotbar twice. I just like to, so that I don't have to leave each trigger. Like, I don't want to have to Reawaken and then pop over to right trigger if I'm in an AoE pack. I can just do it and then get right back to my AoE combo. But if you want to clean it up for more hotbar space, you definitely can. And then, again, for the third hotbar, I just have my self heals over here. I have limit break over here. I have my potion and raid food. Just out of the way, since I'm not hitting them a lot. You could put them up here on the like double left hotbar if you want to be able to keep a better eye on cooldowns and shit like that. But I mean, I don't know. Like you're not really hitting them often enough to worry about it. And I mean, it only takes like half a second to just check the cooldown anyway and have it register. Also, if you look in the bottom right corner of my screen, you see how I have sprint over there? There is a macro you can set up on controller that I really recommend you do. Copy this macro, put it in slot 99, and then go to System Config, go to your controller settings, button configuration, and then for L3, select Execute Macro 99. That will make it so that every time you click L3, you sprint, just like every other game on controller ever, you know. Click in L3 to sprint, and then I just keep it on a little hotbar in the bottom right corner so I can see the cooldown. It probably is a good idea to put Second Wind and Bloodbath over there too, just so you can keep a better eye on their cooldowns, but I'm just so used to playing the way that I do that I don't worry about it. That's pretty much it. Yeah.